It's me again. Someone's got Parkinson's. I apologise for the movement. I'm on a small jolly boat. I rowed out with Sir Pelham Cardew and some of the chosen men to inspect their new ship, the Black Dog they've taken over. And although it's a calm sea, there is, as you can see, a bit of a swell. So we're getting there. Let's see if we can get you row a little bit more alongside there. That's it. We're going to sort of follow the ship. I don't get too close. Have to be careful. There we go. The are still clear, as Sir Pelham's French teacher would say, sans artillerie. But yeah, so all in all, they're very, very happy with what they are seeing here. There's a lot of work to be done. Obviously, they've got to bring the masts on board. There's a lot of work to be done, pitch and getting her rigged up. There's a bit of a debate about colours and things. But at the moment, this is generally where we're up to. So we're going to get the ship's captain to just row away a little bit, and hopefully we'll not lose too much of the image. Row us back, Captain. What's that? White? The sea's white. What's that? What's happened? That's not the sea. That's a shoebox lid. Oh no. It's a con. I don't know what to tell you. What's happened? I've been violated. I'm overboard. Yeah, I tried to fool you, didn't I? Were you fooled? I bet you were. I think something from Pinay. Budget's gone up on that channel since he reached 100 subscribers. It's a veil of reality. But anyway, one of the lads at the club has very kindly made each of us a 3D printed ship. He came in with his catalogue and we all chose. Now, I've chosen a sloop. Some of the lads have chosen big whoppers. Big. No, not for me. So I was looked at, when we first decided we were going to do pirates, I knew nothing about it. So I thought, oh, well, okay, I'll find out. And I did what any self-respecting academic would do in this modern era. I went to ChatGTP and I said, what's the size of a pirate crew? And it went, difficult question. Because they would range from anything up to from 2 dozen up to hundreds. So I thought, oh, no, yeah, seems a lot. So then I thought, well, I don't know what rules to use. And then one of our lovely subscribers, God bless you, said try Donnybrook rules. So I like Donnybrook rules. Now I've never heard of it. So I got the Donnybrook rules and I like it. I like that sort of skirmishy. It's a bit grander on scale than say Chest of Honour, which is 1 man for each card. You're in units, but and again sort of a bit grander than say Frostgrave, Stargrave, but it's got a similar feel. And I thought, well, I like that. So if I went on the Donnybrook / Frostgrave / Stargrave type vibe, I'd have a captain, I'd have a second in command, and then I'd have a group of what they call in Donnybrook the inner circle. So I always equated it to Robin Hood. So your captain would be Robin Hood, and then the other main character might be, say, Maid Marian, or you might say Little John. You might say Will Scarlet, depending on your point of view. But let's say I said Maid Marian, which is, well, it's a good job. So let's say I said, it is actually what I said. And you might think, who did you say it to? I didn't say it to anybody. I went like this. I reckon we should have Robin Hood and Maid Marian type vibe. Do you? I do. I'm not what about making tougher than that, like Will Scarlet or... Well, I like the idea it's a woman. Well, it could be a tough woman. Yeah, let's do that. So that's how the conversation went. See? Some people ask if I script this and edit it really smoothly. And I'm going to leave you to draw your own conclusions. So, I got my captain. And I've got my second in command. And then I looked at the sorts of types of crew. Now, while I was doing that, I went on eBay and I found 8 already painted 28mm pirates for a pittance. So I bought them. And then I think, right, let's have them in 8s, because these lads are rough looking. I inked them and titillated them a bit. So I've got 8 scum. Let's call them. So I've got 8 scum. So I thought, well, okay, if I've got 8 scum, I now want 8 sort of more legit pirates. Because if we're playing this competitively within the club and we're all being captains of our own band, you can bet your bottom dollar that somebody has a right smacking good crew that I don't want to come up against and lose me chaps. So I thought, right, okay, what I'll do is I'll have, a bit like Wargamer Research Group in the 70s, I'll have A-class troops who are the inner circle. It doesn't mean they're better than anybody else, it just means they think they're better than everybody else. And I've met lots of them. B-class troops who are veterans. So that's going to be my naval crew. These are lads who've been to sea. And then I'm going to have my C-class troops who are chaps who have got weapons and they can do a bit of fighting, but they're not very good. And then you've got D-class troops who are just Herberts and also Rands. So now I've got my D-class troops from eBay. So then I thought, there's 8 of them. Right. Well, if all my groups are in 8s, and I say that the little jolly boat things, you know, the rowing boats, the sort of giggy things that they use, if they have a crew of 8, so that's it, isn't it? I've got groups of 8 and I've jolly boats for them. So I've got me scumbags, and then I've got 8 foundry miniatures, not the cheapest, but beautiful. So I got 8 sort of pirates. Then I got 8, and I wanted a crew, and I thought, well, I'm going to sea. What would I want? If I was going to sea, I'd want someone who could sail a boat. So then I looked at the history of the period, and I asked ChatGPT to come up with a plausible scenario for a captain, who I decided was going to be called Sir Pelham Cardew, for no reason whatsoever other than I thought it sounded swish. And years ago, I watched David Tennant of Doctor Who fame, and I should have said, and King Lear, it would have made me seem far more intellectual. But David Tennant was in a film, a version of Casanova, by one of the guys that does Doctor Who. And he was brilliant in it. The way he plays Casanova is bang on for my chap, Sir Pelham. So I've got Sir Pelham Cardew, and I wanted a plausible backstory. And I wanted it set in 1680, when the action begins. And ChatGPT said he's from Norfolk, his family lost their fortune during the English Civil War. They backed the wrong side. He became a sailor with Monmouth and Prince Rupert after the English War, during the reign of Charles II, beginning of James II's reign. Monmouth rebels. He sides with Monmouth They all get a leather in to avoid hanging Judge Jeffreys. They flee and they next appear in the Caribbean. So his sailors all served in the Royal Navy, mainly fighting the Dutch. Maybe a bit of Spanish, a bit of French, mainly fighting the Dutch during those 17th, 18th century wars. So that's where the sailor bits come from. And then the inner circle, from picking all of the random... In Foundry, you tend to get a really nice character figure or two, and then some also rans. So out of the Foundry pack, I ended up with a doctor. I ended up with a couple of ladies. I ended up with a cabin boy. And then from my bits and bobs of civilians, I found a strange-looking priest, bit hermit-like. He's not a posh priest, but he clearly is a priest. I think he's probably a role-playing cleric, to be honest, from Citadel back in the 80s, looking at him. But he's popped up, Friar Bellows. You get a point if you comment and tell me where have I stolen Friar Bellows from. Because I've pinched him from something. Keep your eyes open. Yeah, so I ended up with 5 in a circle, and I've got like a Native American tracker who's from the Mosquito tribe, soldiers who went out, because I hadn't realised until quite recently that during the time of the Commonwealth, after Charles I had been, Cromwell took his army, or sent an army to invade the Caribbean. So there were English Civil War type troops in the Caribbean. So that made sense. So some of them have been mercenaries, some were sailors. There's even a chap who looks like he's from Zanzibar or Morocco, and I've got him down as a slave. He'd been a slaver, but he had his slave camp robbed and overturned by Sir Pelham, and he's seen the error of his ways rather than have stuff poked in him. So he went, oh, go on then, I'll change my mind. Which is, fair enough, isn't it? And we've got ex-slaves that Sir Pelham's freed, and so on. Well, he's a very liberal type chap. It's, like I say, like the David Tennant Casanova. Very well spoken, a little bit accident prone. There's a brilliant scene where he tries to jump from a balcony onto his horse. So that, generally speaking, that character is Sir Pelham. So yeah, that's it. That's my crew. So I've got my crew now, and now I ordered a ship. So ChatGTP said, what you want is a sloop. A sloop would generally have a crew of about 25, leaving lots of room for cargo. And they're easy to pinch, and they're cheap. And because they are easy to pinch in the Caribbean, doesn't matter that they rot away, because you just pinch another one. There's a really good site, and I'm sure it's called Gold and Gunpowder. If it isn't, it's called Gunpowder and Gold. And it's proper, in-depth pirates. If you want to know about pirates, don't listen to me yabbering on. But go and watch that. And you'll learn loads about pirates, and you'll see where I'm nicking all my stuff from. So you won't need to watch me ever again. That'd be nice for you, won't it? Yeah, so I'll have a sloop. And when you read about sloops, they're great, because they can go down rivers where nobody can get them. And you can even get them out of the water and roll them on logs and pop out the other side of an island, like the Vikings used to do. They can go over coral reefs and rocks, and big ships follow them, and they go and get stuck or rip all the bottoms off. You don't want that, do you? You don't want your bottom scraped. But they don't have like big guns. They might have little guns. I certainly have swivel guns. But I was thinking, and then somebody at the club said, I need some big guns for sea battles. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be in any sea battles. I don't know what they think is going to happen in this campaign, but I ain't going to be in a sea battle. What I'm going to be doing is landing on defenceless areas of coastline and pillaging. I might, if I find an unarmed merchant ship, give it a bit of a blast. But generally speaking, if it looks like it can shoot back, I'm hiding. So that's, I don't have a problem with that. Keeping out of range, playing about in the dark, on silent running, scuttling around, attacking Spanish, Dutch, French monasteries, trade supply routes, slavers who deserve all they get. So I have no sympathy with the slaver. And then frequenting the local hostelries and generally having a fine old time until I'm killed. Eat, drink and be merry, etc., etc. Now, so that's what I'm up to with my pirates. And that's my ship over there. That's some of my crew who popped out to have a little peep, inspecting it for worms and barnacles and general corrodedness and grotty. So, and hopefully next time you see it, it'll be nicely painted. And despite what one of my contributors, Eric, said, yeah, it looks good. It looks nice to paint. I ain't looking forward to it. So, I don't know. Perhaps let you see me try and paint it. Oh man, it's going to be a shambles. It's going to be what we like to refer to in this club as an omni-shambles.